Shalom Akim, Wagwadim. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I'd like to give all praises to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Akah. I'd like to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do well, teach well, and have the 144% truth according to the Bible, man, regarding of you so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm going to open up with the book of Philippians chapter 2 verse 12 in the KJV, and it reads, "Wherefore, my beloved, as they have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." I wanted to go into that, man, because, we see the times that we're in, man. Jacob's trouble is about to take full effect. Let's get this real quick. There's an earthquake out there in Colombia, man. When it reads right here, live updates, death toll rises to 132 following 7.4 magnitude earthquake in Colombia. This is a big old earthquake, man. Let's see if I can just pull up some videos real quick. Let's see. Let's get a quick one, man. Don't wanna. Quieta. No puedo. ¿Cómo están? You see that, man? Hey, the Lord ain't playing with these people, man. I'm gonna get some precepts, to back this up, man, because, this is a real thing, man. I'm gonna start at 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. This is it's a basic precept, but it's something that you Israelites to know, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1, he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And we're seeing this, man. Verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonderful and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs." And we see these things, man. So going back to Philippians 2 and 12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. Because Yahawah Shai is about to come back, man. Yahweh Shai about to crack the sky. And he's gonna get busy, man. He's gonna get busy killing, these 2/3, starting with his house, man, the house of the Most High, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are and consist of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Let me just get that precept. Hey, we gotta let the precepts speak, man. Speak for yourself, man. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. And it reads, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of Yahawah, man?" We know that a time like never before is coming, man. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 in the NLT, and it reads, "In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel, yet in the end they will be saved." There's going to be a time of terror, and it will be a time of trouble for my people Israel, as I said, man. And as the scriptures say, man, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17, things must begin at the house of the Most High. Judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High, man. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 9 through 9, and it reads, "Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee." And what shall preserve thee, man? This wisdom, this knowledge and understanding of these scriptures, man. Following, the milk. You should understand, the milk, man. If brothers and sisters want to understand the milk, you gotta search up on YouTube, GMS, the milk. They got the Gentiles breakdown. The Most High's names breakdown. All the milk that we need, to get this understanding, man. I'm gonna start from the top. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5 through 9, and it reads, "Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy get understanding." Verse 8, "Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her, man. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee," man. Adoratazah, and we get that, we're prisoners of hope, man. We get that crown at the end of this, man. We get this one, man. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Let me get up a little bit here. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, man. "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and what's his name? His name is Yahawah, which this world ignorantly calls God, and his only begotten Son, which this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahawah." It reads, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahawah, by Hashem Yahushai, and in the power of his might." Because he's the only power, the only God. He's the creator of heaven and earth, man. He's the creator of the whole universe, man. This is our creator, man. Verse 11, "Put on the whole armor of Yahawah, by Hashem Yahushai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." And who's this? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. We're coming into a time where he's gonna crack down. He's gonna he's come to make a war with the remnant. With the Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Verse 12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High Yahawah Shemi Shai, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints," man. This is what we need to be doing, man. Putting on the helmet of salvation, and be occupied in prophecies, man. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, praying for the brethren, man. Showing charity to each other, man. This is what we need to be, busy in, man. Not busy in the foolishness of this world, man. This is a good precept. Let me see. The wisdom of this world. It's foolish, man. I'm gonna just let it speak for itself, because the Most High is speaking through his prophets, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahawah Shem Yahushai, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Let's get this in the NLT real quick. 1 Corinthians 3 and 19, the NLT, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness to Yahawah Shem Yahushai, and the scriptures say he traps the wise in the snare of their own cleverness, man. You know, this world has no foolishness. I mean, has no wisdom, man. It's all foolishness, man. You know, but I hope, you know, you brothers and sisters were edified, man. The whole elect was edified. You know, you gotta work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. Starting with myself first and foremost, you know, put off that weak nature, offend less, pray for forgiveness and mercy, you know, fast, pray, study. Hey, hit the gym if you can, man. You know, get that testosterone going, man. You know, but with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect. Shalom, Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakakwadash, Barakatham.